Think about the last time you tried to explain a blockchain, or even just your refrigerator. You likely know what the system is called and what it generally does. But if you had to map out the internal mechanics, you'd quickly hit a wall. We consistently confuse knowing the name of a complex system with actually grasping how it functions. This diagram represents a working mental model. True understanding means you have built a structure of a concept. You know how its parts relate, why it functions, and exactly how it fits into the broader context of the world. In the next 5 minutes, you will learn a step-by-step truth-seeking method to get there. We are going to take a claim from passive confusion and engineer it into reasoned conviction. To start, you need to meet 2 conditions. First, pick one concept you want to master today. Second, commit to prioritizing reality over your own personal biases, because those who understand are not people born with a special inherited talent. They are people who think in a trained way, and that training is available to anyone who sincerely puts in the reps. Phase 1 requires clearing the site before we build. You have to actively inspect your initial biases and deliberately search for flaws in what you already think you know. Look at this text outlining the definition of understanding. It relies on an ancient framework contrasting 2 different types of walkers to separate passive reception from active investigation. The first walker possesses a groveling mindset. This person accepts information at face value. They uncritically toe a fixed line without thinking, exactly like an animal walking forward with its head down. The second walker is the upright investigator. This person actively scrutinizes incoming claims. They investigate whatever they hear and force themselves out of their personal shell to discover the truth. To walk upright, you must delete 3 cognitive blockers from your mind immediately: peddling pure conjecture, blindly imitating custom, and protecting vested interests. Choosing to obey personal desire over evidence carries an epistemic penalty. As sensitivity to reality blunts, the mind loses the capacity to grasp finer shades of meaning, eventually rendering it unable to recognize new arguments. This UI graphic maps the procedural engine of our framework, a 5-step epistemic loop. Step 1. Observe reality firsthand, looking directly at given data rather than reading assumptions. Step 2. Reason. Connect observed data to unseen conclusions using strict logical argumentation. Conjecture is explicitly banned. Step 3. Verify. You must absolutely ascertain the factual correctness of any incoming report. Filter the data completely before allowing it to shape your opinion. Step 4 is reflect. This is the act of deep pondering where verified data is taken seriously. Sincerity opens the mind here, while flippancy shuts the process down. Pay close attention. The most common point of failure in this loop is skipping the verify step and jumping straight into deep reflection based entirely on false premises. Step 5 is seek guidance. The intellect is a slippery path. Acknowledge your limitations and ask to be kept straight so your logic stays intact. Running this exact loop is the mechanism that converts raw observation of the world into reasoned conviction. Now that you have built a mental model, you need to stress test its structural integrity. The first pass is the consistency check. Actively hunt for internal contradictions within the concept itself or conflicts with established external facts. The second pass is the evidence check. Demand to see the demonstrable real-world output or the historical footprint of the claim. If a concept contains contradictions or lacks measurable output, it fails. Discard it as conjecture. To guarantee genuine comprehension and expose the illusion of knowledge, we put the model through a final gauntlet. Look at physicist Richard Feynman. He established a clear rule. If you can't explain a complex concept in simple terms, you don't truly understand it. This checklist breaks Feynman's rule into 4 strict requirements. Simple explanation is step 1. Step 2 requires application, detaching the core principle to navigate an entirely new, unencountered scenario. Step 3 requires prediction, knowing the underlying mechanisms to logically deduce outcomes. Step 4 is mapping boundaries, explicitly stating where the concept breaks down and what remains unknown. Relying on heavy jargon often masks underlying ignorance. If you fail any of these 4 checks, your model is flawed and you must return to the 5-step loop. This integrated network represents a verified mental model. You have successfully taken raw, confusing data and engineered it into a connected system. You bypassed the trap of acting like a blind or deaf receiver and operated entirely as an upright investigator. Apply this exact 5-step loop to the next software tool you need to learn or the next news article you read. Deep understanding grows strictly through this disciplined practice. Stay upright and keep investigating.